Hey everyone, my name is Herrick Kimball and I am the author of this book, The Planet Whiz Bang Idea Book for Gardeners. And today I have an idea for you that's not in the book, but if I ever do a volume 2, it will be in the book. Today I'm going to show you how to sharpen Felco pruners with sandpaper. Now let's see, I want to make sure you can see there how dirty these are. We're going to clean them and I'm going to sharpen them. They're a little bit dull using sandpaper. Now the idea of using sandpaper to sharpen tools is something that a lot of people don't approve of. But let me tell you a quick little story. Years ago, when I subscribed to Fine Woodworking magazine, and I'm talking a lot of years ago when the issues were black and white, when they first published it, there was a story in there about a guy who worked in a wood shop, and there was a man in the shop, an old timer, and he was the best. He was a carver and as well as a woodworker. And this guy sharpened all his carving tools with sandpaper. And he was the best. Sandpaper. Before I start here, I should tell you, and you may know this already, but Felco does sell a sharpening tool, a diamond sharpening tool that for $28.04, and they have a plant resin remover. It's basically a cleaner that they sell for $18.55. These are Amazon prices. There's Felco tool spray lube that they sell for $18.10, and there's Felco tool lube grease, which you can buy for $14.98. Altogether, $79.67. If you got the money and you want to buy it, great, no problem. But you can do a fine job cleaning and sharpening your Felco pruners using nothing more than a $6.50 packet of wet dry sandpaper. And right here I've got some wet dry sandpaper that is exactly what I just showed in that picture. I've got 220 grit, 320 grit, 400 grit, and I got several sheets. So what you end up with is enough sandpaper to sharpen your Felco pruners and to use on other things in your shop. You're going to save money with this idea. You're going to get a good job. In addition to, the sandpaper, use whatever you have for grease and cleaner, WD-40. You're going to need some sort of a lubricant. WD-40 is fine. There are two sharpening options for the Felco pruners. One is that you can make these little sharpening sticks with the sandpaper, and I'll briefly explain how I did that. The other is that you just use the paper without making a stick, and I'm going to show you both techniques. Now these sticks here were made starting with a piece of pine, 3/4 inch, that I ripped to 3/16 of an inch thick, and then I sanded. You see the little rounded end? I sanded it round, and then I used a straight edge on a piece of sandpaper. I cut it from the back with a knife right along the straight edge. Then I used Gorilla Glue adhesive. This is contact adhesive, contact cement. And you spray this on the wood, and you spray it on the back of the sandpaper, and you wait until it's dry so that you can touch it and nothing comes up in on your hand. You want it dry, and then you adhere the strip around and on. Now I used this tape, paint mask tape here so I wouldn't get glue on it. Try to be a little bit neat. And then you just adhere your sandpaper on there, okay? And then the edges, I took some 150 grit and I just sanded them like that to kind of get rid of any excess paper and seal the edge nice. This is a nice tool. The Felco company has a video, and they say that you should hold your pruners like this when you're sharpening them, okay? And so that's an option. The other option is to somehow set them down where you're more comfortable. In this instance, I have a piece of wood clamped in my bench vise, and I'm setting this down on there, and that gives me the option to hold it with my thumb and stroke these sanding sticks along the edge. And I'm trying to keep the angle the same. I'm trying to, I'm pulling. I could push just as easily, but I could go like that. Now I'm not getting in here the way I would like, but I'm not too worried about that at the moment. Okay, so the 220 is quite aggressive. I'm using this dry. This is dry or wet paper. Wet works quite well, actually, even better than dry, if you ask me. So here I'm going from the 220 to the 320. Yeah, just give that a couple strokes. This edge had some dullness to it. It was quite obvious up close looking at it, and it wasn't damaged though. So now I'm going to go to the 400. Okay, give it a few strokes. Now I'm going to go to the other side, to the flat side. All right, and I'm going to get a little WD-40 on here. There we go, a little lubricant, and I'm going to hold this paper perfectly flat on there, and I'm just going to clean it. See how that's cleaning up? Okay, there's that. This paper will last a very long time. It's made to be wetted. See that? That's looking real nice. Okay, and I can feel the edge. Yeah, so here I've got a piece of 400 grit, and I'm going to make it smaller, and I'm going to get my shears back up here, and I'm going to give a little bit of a spray, and then I'm going to clean it up. Get the resins or whatever were on there. Get it here. This is a quick cleanup. I just want to give them a little spiffing up here. Okay, so I'm going to get this. I'm going to clean this up also with the 400 grit. But what I want to show you right now is how to get the final sharpness on there. And to do that, I'm going to return to my flat paper. And last year, when I sharpened these pruners, I did just this. I didn't have the sticks. I did just this. See how I've got that folded, right? Now I'm going to spray into that fold, and I'm going to come here, and I'm going to put the V of the paper right onto the V of the edge there. I hope this is showing. And I'm just pinching. I'm pinching. I'm getting way to the end. I'm trying to turn the angle a little so maybe you can see. Okay, now I suppose if I wasn't careful, I could slice right through and cut my finger. So be careful. You got the idea, right? And clean that up. Clean that up. I could clean that up more, but oh yeah, I can feel that now. That edge is nice and sharp. I'm sure there are people who could get that edge even sharper, but it is sharp enough. Okay, I just spent about 5 minutes with the 400 grit and some WD-40, and I got these looking really fine. Got them all cleaned up. And the edge is sharp. These are ready to go. Now, let me just reiterate that all you really need, if your edge is not severely dulled or nicked, all you really need is a piece of the 400 grit paper, bend it in a V, spray some WD-40 on there, pinch it over your edge, and just let her ride. Let her ride over there several times, and you'll renew that edge nicely. But if you need to do more work to get that edge, you've got some severely dull or even some nicks, these little sticks will do it for you. Okay, then finish with the 400 pinch, the pinch sharpening. That's it, folks. I hope you're inspired. I hope your pruning shears will always be sharp. See you in the next video.